Hey, Venture Kids, it is so great to see you, and I can't wait to share today's Bible story with you.
Hey, Pastor Steve.
Oh, hey, Pascal, what's wrong?
Well, I was trying to figure out what I'm great at. You see, my brother is great at playing soccer. He is constantly breaking records for the most goals scored in a game. But he says the only thing I'm great at is breaking my toys.
Oh, well, I'm sure there's something that you're really great at, Pascal.
I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Well, you know what? You should listen to today's Bible story because it's about a girl named Leah, and there's lots of people who didn't think she was that great either. But you know what? God saw greatness in her. In fact, she became a very important person in Jesus' story.
Really?
Really, and that's what our Bible story is about today. God sees greatness in you, even when others don't. So let's listen to today's Bible story and see what happens. There once were two sisters. The youngest sister was very beautiful, and her name was Rachel. But the older sister wasn't beautiful at all. Some thought her quite ugly. And her name was Leah. Rachel was the kind of girl who always gets invited to parties and chosen for the team. Everyone loved her. And poor Leah? No one hardly even noticed her. One day, their cousin Jacob came to stay. He was one of Isaac's sons, and he was on the run. Jacob had stolen and cheated and made some enemies, including his own brother, and now he was hiding. The funny thing is, Jacob, of all people, was the one God gave the special promise to. The same promise he had given his grandfather Abraham.
I will rescue the world through your family.
But then God chooses people we least expect, as we'll see. Jacob stayed a long time working for his uncle Laban. One day Laban said,
Jacob, I've decided to pay you for your work. What do you want?
A sudden thought struck him.
How about one of my daughters?
Jacob looked at Rachel and he looked at Leah. Who would he choose? Of course, he chose Rachel.
I will work for 7 years for free if I can marry Rachel.
So Jacob worked 7 years, and at last, his wedding day arrived. But that night, Laban played a nasty trick on Jacob. Instead of sending Rachel to marry Jacob, he sent Leah. Now in those days, they didn't have electricity, so it was dark in their tents, and besides, women wore veils, and so you couldn't see their faces properly. So Jacob suspected nothing.
Why shouldn't you write with a broken pencil? Because it's pointless. Funny. What kind of tree fits in your hand? A palm tree. That there was funny. What do you get when you cross a bell and a skunk? Jingle smells. Hilarious. Albert out. Peace.
Now in those days, they didn't have electricity, so it was dark in their tents, and besides, women wore veils, and so you couldn't see their faces properly. So Jacob suspected nothing. The next morning, Jacob woke up and screamed.
Ah!
His new wife was lying beside him, but it wasn't Rachel. It was Leah. Jacob jumped out of bed.
Laban! You scoundrel! Work for me another 7 years, and then you can marry Rachel.
So Jacob worked for Laban for another 7 years, and then at last Rachel became his wife. Now Jacob had 2 wives, but of his 2 wives, he loved Rachel the best.
No one loves me. I'm too ugly.
But God didn't think she was ugly. And when he saw that Leah was not loved and that no one wanted her, God chose her to love her specially, to give her a very important job. One day, God was going to rescue the whole world through Leah's family. Now, when Leah knew that God loved her in her heart, suddenly it didn't matter anymore whether her husband loved her the best or if she was the prettiest. Someone had chosen her. Someone did love her with a never stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever love. So when Leah had a baby boy, she called him Judah, which means, this time I praised the Lord. And that's just what she did. And you'll never guess what job God gave Leah. You see, when God looked at Leah, he saw a princess. And sure enough, that's exactly what she became. One of Leah's children's children would be a prince. The Prince of Heaven, God's son. This prince would love God's people. They wouldn't need to be beautiful for him to love them. He would love them with all of his heart, and they would be beautiful because he loved them, like Leah. And that's our story.
Oh, I get it. Leah didn't seem that great on the outside, but God saw greatness in her, even when others didn't. And he chose her to be a princess in Jesus' family.
That's right, Pascal. In fact, that's our Bible point for today. God sees greatness in us, even when others don't.
Well, I'm still not sure what I'm great at.
Oh, well, Pascal, I think you're a really great friend. In fact, here, I even have a ribbon to prove it.
Wow, thanks, Pastor Steve.
You bet. Have an adventurous week, everyone.
Hey Adventure Kids, this is the part of the show where you send in your questions to me, Jake, and I answer them. So let me grab my mailbag. Hi Jake, did God make construction workers? From Callum. That is an awesome question. God kind of made construction workers. Let me explain. God made people, and inside every person, God placed some really cool and unique gifts. He made some people good at art, some people good at sports, some people good at building things, and all kinds of other gifts. So construction workers are people that God made, who he put the gift of building things in. Awesome question. Hi Jake, can you do 30 push-ups without stopping? From John Iacucci. That is an awesome question. Let's find out. All right, John Iacucci, 30 push-ups. Let's do this. So remember, if you have a question for me, Jake, just go to takeawaywithjake.com and I'll answer your question right here on the show.